Well, the Indy 11 has led the North American Soccer League in attendance the past 2 seasons. Now the team has its eyes on moving up in the standings. Bill Benner has more in this week's Inside Indiana Sports. Bill?
Gary, thanks. And that desire to do as well on the pitch as in the stands was reflected in off-season moods to upgrade the talent and put it under new leadership, specifically new coach Tim Hankinson, a native New Yorker with extensive coaching experience, including successful stints in Major League Soccer. And Coach Hankinson joins us on the program. Welcome to Indianapolis. 36 years as a head coach. You were nine years in the MLS. What appealed to you about the Indy 11?
You know, throughout your career, you look for committed ownership, which we have here in Indianapolis. An owner that's ambitious and has a vision for the program, but you also look for the fans. I mean, as an athlete, as a professional player, or as a coach, being able to walk into a stadium with that kind of enthusiasm that Indy 11 has generated the first few years is attractive to not just coaches, but to players as well. Well,
the Brickyard Battalion had a reason to go crazy last week, and they did. You had a big win, the first time ever beat the defending champ New York Cosmos in a thriller. I mean, that was a great, great win.
Well, I remind our players that in the 89th minute, we were still losing. But getting that penalty that Ayman Zayed, one of our new players, scored, and then 4 minutes later to be able to put the game winner and take it up the wall of the Brickyard Battalion, the stadium just went nuts.
So unbeaten so far this season in 3 games, 1 win, 2 ties. Talk about, you mentioned the new player. I mean, you brought in a raft of new players this year, and the early returns have to be very encouraging.
We're very pleased with it. You know, we look for proven players that have played either in the NASL or Major League Soccer, and then a few from other countries that we felt had a track record of scoring goals that we could count on. So we've got about 12 new players. We have players from Ireland, Scotland, England, Jamaica, Colombia. So it's an assortment, but a great group of characters that are going to make Indy very proud.
And you think that, again, from what you've seen so far, very early into a long 28-game season, but you think the pieces are in place to?
You know, I don't call us a defensive team, but if you look at the goal against average, it's below 1 goal a game. And if you can do that, that means you're always in the fight to the very end. And we're just starting to get some of our players that had injuries in the preseason back. A lot of offensive pieces that are still learning about each other. So it's still a work in progress. We haven't seen our best, but certainly Saturday night was a great night for us.
Tim, a good time for the league. You've got a couple of new TV deals. ESPN3 is streaming all the games, and you got some new blood in the league for franchises.
Yeah, new national TV deals with BN Sports and CBS Sports. As you mentioned, ESPN3 is with us. Oklahoma City has a new team, Miami has a new team, Puerto Rico has a new team, and then you look on to 2017, San Francisco will join the league, and there's a big project trying to get a NASL team in the city of Chicago.
Talk about the talent, and everybody wants to make the comparison with Major League Soccer, but the talent level here is, I mean, these guys are good.
They are good, and you'll see that proven when the U.S. Open Cup tournament, the big national competition where all levels of the game get to compete. It's a knockout, 1 game, and you either move on or you're out, and you'll see matchups with teams like Indy 11 against a Major League team, and you'll have a direct comparison, and you'll see the upsets, and some would say they're not upsets, that we're equal to the task, but it'll be great games ahead.
Tim, as we wrap up, look ahead to the schedule. A bye this week, a rare bye this week, but then you're on the road to OKC on April 30th, and the next home game back at Carroll Stadium.
Right, May 7th against Edmonton, an important team out of Canada that's had great success the last couple of years. So every game's tough, and we're going to be fighting for 3 points every Saturday night.
And the Brickyard Battalion will be there in force, right?
They don't sit the entire game. They explode when there's a goal, so that's exciting for our players to feel.
The new Indy 11 coach, Tim Hankinson. Right. Welcome to Indianapolis,
right.
and we hope you have a great